Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a slightly delayed Loreweek. I do apologize for the delay. I was working on a project that I was actually hoping to finish before this Loreweek. No luck there. Apparently 11 hours is simply not enough. Pity, but what can you do? Not a lot of news today. I'm gonna tell you that right now. A couple little lore show tidbits. Other than the super secret project I'm working on, which Bio helped me out with, so thanks to Bio for that. For those of you not aware, we have a poll going right now for whether you guys should pick first. Here, let me go in full detail here. First of all, the poll's still live. Let's just start with that. But it's whether, when we get to the point where we're actually adding new games to the list, which will be sometime around mid next year, we will go ahead and be... Warned me that what would happen, Mike? Come on. Anyways, mid next year, sometime-ish, Shadow Machine will be doing his thing. Thank you, as always, Shadow Machine, very, very much for the sub. Very much appreciate. Words. We will be adding new games to the list. Either I'm going to be adding games to the list first, then you, or you'll be adding games to the list first, then I. This is actually a pretty substantial change, which of these two we do. I like to call it the strategy, but really what it boils down to is the person who picks last gets more tactical choices in what they pick. So the question boils down to, who do you want to have the strategy of selecting games for the upcoming list for streaming in the future? Me or you? That's the poll. It's actually pretty close, and we only have about 200 voters, actually 199 as of this moment. So if you have not voted, please do so. I also want to remind, and I'm just going to say this every week, just to really hammer this in, reminders that I still need dialogue lines for the FF9 Theater from Ryo Kami, Random Bystander, Raximus, and Ruth. I'm just going to keep hammering that point until I get lines. I'm waiting on you guys. You four are what I'm waiting on at this point. Please. Oh my god, they all start with R. You're absolutely right. I didn't even think about that. You four are the ones that the FF9 Theater is waiting on. Please get me your lines. Please get me some lines. If you can't do your lines, please tell me you can't do your lines. I hate to recast, but, you know, the theater is like 98% done. I'm just missing those four people. Now, granted, those are some very major lines, but you get my point. Anyways, I do have, so as a fresh reminder, while we're at it real quick, before I go any further, my daylight savings time ends a week from today. So next week, it'll be fall back, which I never remember which is what on that one. That's either the one that sucks or the one that's okay. And I never remember which one it is. Either way, my daylight savings time ends next week. And can I just say, for the umpteen billionth time, DST needs to go to hell. Because I'm just really sick of DST. Anyways, and a final reminder, Polemic Day is next Saturday, a week from yesterday. Nothing really new to add there. It is the day in which we can discuss controversial topics. I do have several topics planned, including donuts and the discussion of what a controversial topic is later, Dakota. Also, Rule 0 still applies. Rule 0 always applies. And the executive veto will also be in effect, since I've decided to just kind of start being a little more of an autocrat when it comes to my show. Having said all that, I am curious if any of you guys know animation? Sprite work animation? Like with After Effects or something like that? No, you do not get a birthday shout-out. That's why I'm not saying anything right now. So, happy birthday, Darth Mordoro. You should probably go do something more enjoyable on your birthday. And you better get a treat today or I'm going to be upset. Thank you, Slim Jim Reborn, very, very much for the sub. Ever and always, very much appreciate. Thank you for all your support. You are awesome. If you happen to know where you want to put that for your yearly thing, please let me know, and it shall be done. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Gotta get position for this. There we go. So the reason I ask about animation, I've spent 11 hours so far. I've been tracking this, working. I don't know what 8-frame animation is. I've been spending 11 hours working on an animation, a video. It's about a 6-minute, 7-minute video. I can give you the exact thing because I'm staring at it right now. Let's see. That would be. It is 6 minutes and 41 seconds long. And like I said, I've been working on it for about 11 hours now, which sounds about right, as anybody will tell you. I can see why most people only release one video a week, or a month. Having said all that, I've been trying to think of ways to streamline this further, because this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and something I would like to do going forwards, but I don't have time. I absolutely do not have time for this kind of investment. And you guys are probably going to hate it anyways when it finally goes live. You got it, Slim Jim Reborn. Pokemon it is. So yeah, I was wondering if anybody knows anything about said animation or After Effects or animating, or might even have a tip for how to smooth this out. I almost said slim this out. Yeah, could you slim this out for me, guys? Let me mute this so you don't actually hear it. There we go. So now I can peruse the thing. Like, what I'm doing is... I hesitate to even call what I'm doing animation, but I'm spending a fairly large amount of time trying to make it, you know, good. And I don't know. I guess I'll find out when it goes live if you like it or not. I was really hoping to have it done before Loreweek, unfortunately. Like I said, I still have, let's see... 54... Looks like about 47 seconds left to do. Which may not sound like a lot, but, I mean, you've worked with videos before. When is it going up? When it's done, which will be today. After Loreweek and Positivity Hour, I, of course, have to do my errands, but then I have a brief period of time where I'll get some theater work done, and then I will finish, hopefully, finish working on this, and then release it today. At the very latest, this will be released before Thursday, because this is related to the D&D campaign I will be running on Thursday. Now, you might think, oh, so you want to do D&D videos? Well, kinda. What troubles am I having? It takes too long. That's what the troubles I'm having. I also think it looks like crap. In fact, for the most part, I'm not actually doing animation at all. Like, there's a few keyframe stuff I'm doing, but that's about as far as I'm going. It's mostly just static images, which are, well, you'll see. You'll see when we get there. I don't know how to describe it. I have no idea how to describe it. So, whatever. You'll get there. You'll get there. Yes, starting this coming Thursday. It is set within the extant. Of course it is. It's something I wrote. I allowed my viewers to my players to decide which species they were playing. They're playing the Patari. And so it is set on Pataria. Nothing in this is fully animated whatsoever, no Earth Tyrant. The closest thing to an actual animation I have is I put together this brief reel. It just as a bridge between two animation sections, which is actually just 2 frames of animation repeated back and forth for, what is this, like 2 seconds, something like that. That's as close to animation as the whole thing gets. Everything else is just keyframe movement. I don't know how to describe this without just showing it to you guys, so all I gotta say is that Lord Haramont is awesome. This is why I was hoping to finish this damn thing. If anybody has even if you don't know animation, if you are not an animator, excuse me, if you have any ideas on how I might be able to streamline this to make it more feasible and less time-consuming, that would be awesome. I will admit, part of the time delay is I've been having to rip sprites. Because I'm using sprites, because I can't draw for crap. I don't even have a pen thing, you know, a pad to draw on. So I've had to rip sprites, and that means, well, let's just look here real quick. How many am I up to right now? 123 different sprites so far. Every one of those is obviously an individual sprite. So, you know, there's like looking down, while looking down, kneeling to the side, laughing, laying down, fighting to the side, cheering to the side, standing to the side, glancing to the side, and looking up. All of those are one character, for example. And each of those is an individual file, obviously, because that's how I do things. Thank you, Lord Haramont, very, very much, as always. I am very much appreciative. Thank you. I will put that towards Pokemon. But yeah, the reason I'm using sprites is this is something that's been on my mind for a long time. Something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And for feasibility's sakes, since I basically can't do anything that's mine, like I am not a good enough artist to draw, and even if I was, getting my own drawings into an actionable format is simply not happening. So I'm doing, there's a term for it in cinematics, a retelling? That doesn't sound right. Did you actually manage to order one, Mukul? If so, grats. Hi, Cord. It's when you do a representative animation. In other words, rather than literally having, you know, a beast and a person and a dude, instead what you have is 3 people who have either costumes or are taking the place of those roles. So they're not literally, that you're not literally seeing a member of the species or a member of the whatever. You're seeing someone who is playing the role of that, right? And so I'm using sprites because I have access to sprites. I have access to thousands upon thousands upon thousands of sprites in order to approximate. There's a term for that. I can't think of what it's called. Thank you very, very much, Cody. As always, very much appreciated. You said dealer's choice, but then you changed your mind. So I'm going to go with your second option. In fact, I'm going to put that towards Fallout 76. But thank you very, very much for the sub. No, there's a frickin' term. It's like a stage play. It's an old Greek term. It's because when they walk on the stage, they don't look like Zeus, but you're supposed to just sort of assume they're Zeus, right? They would even do the thing where they would have they'd have the masks, right? And you could tell if they were in character or out of character, depending on whether or not they had the mask up. Because they didn't have special effects, they didn't have costumes, they didn't have, you know, the props to actually showcase it. So you would see things and they would be, you were supposed to think of them as such and such. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's a concept, and you know what I'm talking about. Anyways, that's what I'm doing. I'm using sprites as bleh in order to approximate whatever it is that is actually happening. Because obviously, you know, these are not Patari. They look quite human. Oh, you're probably wondering what this is, by the way. I wanted to share this. This is a card from my grandmother. I don't know if you can really tell. It's a woman there who's a witch who seems to have taken a wrong turn, and her GPS is recalculating. Recalculating. I thought that was cute. I wanted to share. She likes to send me interesting and silly cards on a regular basis. Actually, yeah, Lord Haramond, a variant on SNES RPG. It's just there's an actual, real, theatrical term for it I can't think of, and it's going to drive me crazy, but whatever. Anyways, that's the thing I'm working on, which I will hopefully be finishing today. Believe it or not, that's actually it. I don't have much in random news. I do want to mention 2 things. First of all, we are having this... well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I think we're having the Star Trek 3 rewrite tonight, for anybody who wants to be there for that. That'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as per usual. Also, for anybody who cares or doesn't care, Lore Reloaded is working on a series of Starship battles with another dude whose name I don't remember. You know, full 3D animation of the thing. And I happen to be doing voice acting work for that. So I will be voicing the Vorta, specifically, in that particular battle. There's already one video live right now, if you want to go look at that. I actually did the dialogue for the other... for the next upcoming video this morning, so that's already done and gone. I don't know when the next video will be going live. I'm just pointing it out and plugging the show as well as the thing. It will actually... German Trekkie. Thank you, McDuck. German Trekkie is the one doing the CGI stuff. Are you having fun with the rewrites? I'm having fun with the rewrites. It is nice to be able to dedicate the time to do so. Also, the rewrite will, as all the other rewrites has been, be on both my channel and on Lore Reloaded's channel. In other words, we both stream at the same time, and I have both chats up on one on each monitor, so I can just catch them. No, satirical. It isn't the same thing at all. Anyways, I'm not even going to update the thing to random news because this really doesn't matter. So, because I only have 3 really quick tidbits for random news. No big news this week. Random news number 1. There is an antitrust case that is going against Google in order to investigate them for monopoly. You're probably wondering, why isn't that big news? Well, because there's nothing to say about it yet. The thing was just frickin' filed. So, who knows where that will go? And ultimately, it probably won't matter. Next thing. For those of you curious about the... What in the world? The Battlestar Galactica movie, which they're working on, has finally gotten a writer and a producer. That would be Simon Kinberg. You're probably thinking, who's Simon Kinberg? He wrote and directed Dark Phoenix. You know, the last X-Men movie a couple years ago? Yay. If you haven't seen that film, I did a stream discussing it. If you don't feel like watching the stream, the movie sucked. The first 10 minutes of the film were actually legitimately very good. There were some interesting ideas, it was tightly written, there was some good character drama, and then it just sort of fell apart. Hard. Really fast. And oh my god, that movie just never stopped getting worse. Holy crap. Just, wow. Up to and including the rewritten ending, I might add. Which was just... I think I already own it, Cord. Anyways, so he's the one... Mimic acting? That doesn't sound right. Well, look, I'm sorry, Mitch Connor. That movie was bad. Like, there were objective things about that film that were wrong. Never mind my own subjective opinion. Just, wow. Clearly apparent first draft dialogue and legitimate nonsensical sequencing and just, oh my gosh. Whew. It is worth noting that that movie was very seriously screwed with before its release. However, Simon Kinberg also worked on X-Men 3, so I'm not really inclined to give him that much leeway. Anyways, my point being, of all the people to pick for Battlestar Galactica, why'd they pick this guy? Anyways, the last thing I want to comment on for random news, and I'm just going to say this very briefly, okay? I'm sure 100% of you have heard of Alex Hutchinson. Now, if you haven't heard of it, that's good. Don't Google it. He doesn't deserve the attention. The only thing I wanted to mention about this is 2 things. First of all, some people have asked why when I'm going to do a full discussion on his comments. I'm not. He's an idiot. That's the discussion. There is nothing else to be added to that because he's a moron. Okay? Point 1. Point 2. This amused me. Hang on, let me actually pull up the article here. As always, there will be links in the VOD. Where's the exact quote? A Google spokesperson went out of their way to say the recent tweets by Alex Hutchinson do not reflect those opinions of Stadia, YouTube, or Google. Similarly, at the same time, Google's head of global gaming tweeted, "We believe publishers and creators have a wonderful symbiotic relationship that has allowed a thriving ecosystem to be created, one that's mutually benefited everyone. YouTube is focused on creating value for blah, 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 blah." They hung him out to dry. That's the only thing I wanted to share about that, because that amused me. They looked at him and were like, nope! And that was how they reacted to it. And that amused me enough that I had to share that. Oh, by the way, just to clarify something, just to get all our facts straight, he doesn't actually work at Stadia. He works at Typhoon, which is a company that was bought by Google and works underneath Stadia. In other words, they developed for Stadia specifically, okay? They made a game called Journey to the Savage Planet. I just want to be clear about this specific relationship there. I'm not saying I want the guy to get fired, it's just... anyways. Whoops. Let me close the wrong window here, because I'm just a brain genius today. Alright, so, that's it. That's all I've got for Loreweek. It has been a quiet week, and I didn't finish the thing I was going to broadcast right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just chop off the local recording.